Joining us today is Ellie Roan. Ellie is a thrower from the Bay Area in her sophomore year on the women's track and field team. Ellie, welcome. So good to have you here in studio.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So Ellie, you just won your first Patriot League gold medal. You shattered the school record and led the league in weight throwing. And putting a little salt in the record book's face, you broke the record again with a throw of 19.93 to win your first title. Sophomore year has been so good to you. I'm half expecting you to say you'll be competing in the Olympics this year. Talk to me a little bit more about your year so far.
I guess the year started off, I came a little early in the summer to get a little extra training in, and just all throughout the summer and the fall, I feel like it included a lot of hard work, and our training group just like really went at it in the weight room. I feel like it was probably like one of the most successful training periods of my life.
That's
and
awesome.
So I think that the Patriot League like title and stuff like that, it all came back to the hard work and the work we put in the spring, summer, and fall.
That's amazing. Lovely to hear that. So let's explore on that a little bit more. Freshman year wasn't exactly you sitting on the sidelines either. You placed third in hammer throw at the Skyhawk Invitational, third again at the Boston U Battle for Beanpaw, and capped it off with being second all time for hammer throw. What was that year in transition like for you, flying across the country, away from your friends, family, and arriving here on Comm Ave? I know the weather in Boston is so much better compared to the 24/7 sun of California staying at 70 degrees. It's not, by the way. But
Yeah,
what was that
it's not.
transition like for you?
I would say that it was hard moving across the country, and there's a lot of pros and cons that go with that, but I knew from high school that I wanted that. I knew I wanted to like get out of California, at least for my young adult life and college years. And I would say the transition from, I played team sports my whole life.
Okay.
So kind of like transitioning to just track and field as like an individual sport was different, but also everything was kind of unexpected. I didn't know what to expect with that year. It was my first year throwing hammer and weight.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that was all kind of unexpected, and I just went into it with an open mind and just, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So your journey to this level of success wasn't a stroll in the park, but a well-planned marathon, or I should say a series of strategic throws. In high school at the North Coast Meet of Champions, you placed first in shot put, you placed second in discus, you broke the Anna League West County record, and you were the 7th all-time in the Redwood Empire, which for those of you who don't know represents over 58 counties north of San Francisco, and went on to break the El Molino school record as well. It's almost as if you were born to break school records. How do you manage to keep outdoing yourself? Is there a secret lab that BU doesn't know about?
No, I just think it really is just like pushing yourself to like as hard as you can and just working hard in the off season and having teammates that are there to help push you through it, and having teammates who have similar goals and aspirations as you, so that you all are just working towards a bigger goal. And
so definitely something is not random at all.
nothing.
Comes with hard work, dedication.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. That's awesome. So in an interview, and don't worry, it's not that interview, Ellie. Way back in 2022 on Running Space, you mentioned how being crucially locked in it is for a big meet. In a world where my biggest challenge is finding the next show I'm going to binge watch, how do you manage to keep your mental game so sharp, and what's your secret to staying so locked in?
I think that you can't treat a meet differently than you would treat practice.
Okay.
So what I like to think of it is I go into practice and I think I'm gonna win this practice. No matter what, like you have something that you're like working on technically, you're gonna win that practice on that technical movement. And I think that like when you have that mentality for practice, meets don't seem like it's such a big stage, because you just have to come to the meet and do what you've been doing in practice and just let the training and the hard work speak for itself.
So would you say you're a big proponent of like you practice how you play?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So in high school during your senior year, you were the talk of the town with articles from SoCo News, the Community Voice, the Press Democrat, Runner Space, and RedwoodEmpireRunning.com, just to name a few, featured all articles that were just about you. So how'd you block out all that noise and decide that BU was a place to be?
I knew that BU was a place to be kind of from the start when I first started talking to the throws coach, my coach here, Coach Cartwright.
Coach Cartwright.
I knew that, like, especially if I was going across the country for college, I would need a coach that I knew was going to not just care about me like athletically, but actually care about me like as a person and
That's
stuff
so
like that.
important.
And I just like from all the coaches I talked to, just something about him just clicked, and I knew from the start that he was who I wanted to compete, and yeah.
And so far, kind of with all the success you've had, it seems like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
You know, continuing like you guys have that dynamic duo, you guys are killing it. So then on your Terrier Athletics bio, it says if you're not throwing, you're at the beach or you're hanging out with friends. How big of a role do friends play in kind of the success you had? And what beach, given the weather we've had, could you possibly be talking about? I know, like, I'm no weather expert, but we've had some pretty terrible weather.
Yeah.
So I'm asking for a friend, actually. Like, which beach would you be talking about?
So I was thinking like beaches from my hometown in California.
Okay.
I have not yet found a beach in Boston that
Oh, you
I
haven't?
hang out yet.
We got to maybe
hang out
change
at.
that on the bio, because I'm out here searching for beaches, and I see nothing.
We should. That is a little outdated.
Okay,
so.
good. Okay, glad we got that covered.
But I definitely think friends and connections play a huge role in this because, one, they're your support group.
Yeah.
You're who they go home to every night. Like, not everything is going to be all about track. And so I think it's important to have a balance in, like, your social life outside of track as well as on the track. So I've made great friends outside of track and great friends inside of track. And I think it's good to have a balance between the two.
Awesome, awesome. So now let's talk about your family. Your dad, Michael Roan, played in the NFL, which I'm guessing made playing catch in the backyard a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
What's it like to have a dad who played in the league? And did he coach you in the fine art of throwing, or was it just more like, don't break all the windows in the house?
I actually played basketball my whole life.
Oh,
so
okay.
he was kind of like the main focal point for that, like shooting hoops in the backyard when you were little, stuff like that.
Breaking windows or just shooting hoops?
Just
Okay.
shooting around.
Okay.
But yeah, he's always been my, like, the person I look up to the most, and I trust him with all athletic advice and social advice, but
Okay.
he's definitely like my role model
Got
in
you.
life. So
So did he also help you in that transition from basketball to do full-time kind of track and field?
yeah, I mean, like, he's always taught me to like work hard no matter what. Of
course.
So I think just like the tactics and like skills I've learned throughout my whole life playing like different sports translated into track, and he's the one to thank for that. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And given that he went to, I guess, University of Wisconsin, is that a team you guys kind of follow all together as a family, or
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Like when the football game is on, we're always watching.
you guys ever
and,
been to the games, or?
He has,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But
Season's tickets.
I have not gone, no. But I would like to go to a Wisconsin game.
Hopefully
him.
that happens.
Yeah.
So this year was very special for you and the team, with multiple Terriers making the podium. What was the most special thing about sharing the podium with your teammate, Emma Kowalski? Did you guys break out into singing fits of "We Are the Champions," or was it more of "Don't Trip" going up on the podium?
I think that, like, it just showed all the hard work that paid off between me and her throughout that whole year. And we both deserve to be up there. And so I'm glad I got to share that happiness and just excitement with my teammate. So.
And did
Yeah.
anyone trip on the way up? I hope not. But it happens sometimes. I've seen it.
No, me and her did not trip, so that's a win.
That's really good. So behind all of the success, all the media attention, all the trophies, lies the reality of being a student athlete, which are early morning, late night, struggling school, and constant travel.
Yeah.
So what fuels your fire to keep pushing through? Or is it sheer determination, or do you just like collecting medals?
I would say that it is my determination, and I set goals for myself, and I have aspirations for what I want to accomplish as an athlete, and so I want to accomplish what I know I can.
So looking ahead, what's next for Ellie Roan? Any records in your sights or milestones you're itching to conquer? And with the team heading to Miami for the Hurricane Invitational, are you looking forward to the competition, or are you excited about getting your potential Chan or potential beach time on? What's next?
I am excited to compete. This will be obviously my first outdoor competition of the year, so haven't really thrown outside that much since the summer, so I'm excited to see where I'm at, and kind of that my results from that will be a gauge for kind of the goals I want to set this outdoor season. And I'm just excited. Also excited for the warm weather and to be in Miami with my teammates for spring break, I guess. So
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah.
Is there much of a difference in kind of throwing outside compared to indoor season?
Yeah.
Does the weather play a factor, or?
Yeah,
can
there's
North Carolina-
definitely a big difference, especially like for our outdoor events, we can train them in the TTC, like
Okay.
by throwing discus and hammer into a net.
Yeah.
But a net can only show so much, so kind of like it does make a big difference getting outside and seeing the trajectory and the flight of the disc and just kind of what like your body does when it's like knows you have to throw it far outside.
Okay.
So it definitely does play a big difference.
Because inside you have the net, and then outside
Yeah,
is kind of
outside
more
it's just for
open.
distance into the open, so the body does a lot of weird things
Yeah.
when you know you're trying to throw it far rather
course,
than
and-
just
and-
into a net. So
And that thing is heavy. It is super heavy. So big ups to you guys, and kind of best of luck in Miami. That's all the time we have for today. Next up, we have Patriot League MVP Eitan Rosen for men's soccer. Be sure to cheer on and keep up with Ellie on Instagram and Twitter @TerrierTFCX. Until next time, I'm your host, Tyler Johnson.